What's up, guys? It's Smoshy from youtube.com/Smoshy and twitch.tv/xsmoshy, and today I'm here to talk about the dangerous circle, or the friendly circle, depending on how you use it. But before we go any further, we first have to establish what is the circle. You have to understand that there are two circles, the old and the new. The old circle will have a blue outline, while the new circle will have a white outline. The blue outline circle will begin to close after a short time until it reaches the new white circle. How fast the circle closes depends on the width of the old circle in relation to the new circle. For example, if you are on the edge of the old circle and you have to run 1500 meters to enter the new circle, while the other side of the old circle is only 300 meters away from the new circle, this means that the bigger side, the side where you have to run 1500 meters, will close much faster compared to the smaller side where you would only have to run about 300 meters. The circle is the driving force behind Battle Royale. It's what forces players to move and engage in battle. Without the circle, players would stay in one area and the match would take many hours to complete. But how can a simple circle force players to move? Well, looks can be deceiving. This is no ordinary circle. This circle comes with a few perks. As mentioned previously, the old circle begins to close until it reaches the new circle. Then, the new circle becomes the old circle. It's a vicious and cruel cycle. To find out when the circle will begin to close, look at the top left of your screen under the minimap. You'll find a timer. When this reaches 0, the circle will begin to close. As this starts, you may want to think about heading towards the safe circle. You'll also notice a blue bar to the right of your minimap. This bar fills as the circle fills. When this is full, the circle has completely filled and the new circle will spawn, and the timer will reset. But as the circle fills, any players caught outside the new white circle will begin to take damage over time. This damage gradually increases with each newer, smaller circle. The first couple circles tickle, easily healed up with sports drinks and bandages. But as the game goes on and the circle gets smaller, it begins to hurt so much more. You go from taking 1 health point worth of damage a second to over 10 health points worth of damage per second, more than you can heal up with drinks and bandages. On top of this, once the circle completely fills and the new circle spawns, you will take double damage if caught outside the safe zone or the white circle. This is where you start pulling out the med kits and first aid kits, all while you're getting shot at and crying behind a tree. But don't you worry, I'm here to help you avoid these scary situations and improve your chances of securing a win. No longer will you be the guy stuck outside the safe circle, hiding behind a tree while being pinned down by a team of 4. We're going to pick up where we left off in my previous video. If you haven't had a chance to see it, feel free to check it out. It covers everything you need to know about the looting phase, from where to land, to where to loot, to what to loot. So at the end of the video, we just got done looting and the circle just spawned. This is where you open your map and begin plotting your course. A good tip is to click on your map to set a marker. This way, you can always check the top of your screen on your compass to make sure you're heading in the right direction. There's also another line that will direct you towards the circle, but this may take you through dangerous areas such as towns or open fields, all of which you should avoid. When you open your map, there's 2 scenarios you may find yourself in. Scenario 1 is where the circle spawns on top of you and you don't have to move. Scenario 2 is where you are outside the circle and you will have to run a certain distance. I'll cover both and explain what I would do in each scenario. Scenario 1 is by far the best case scenario. Not having to move and take a chance of getting shot in the back is a good feeling. If you're inside the circle, feel free to take this time to finish looting if you're in need of any more supplies. This is also a good opportunity to head towards any airdrops in the area. Just keep in mind that other players may also be heading towards the same drop, already looting it, or is using it as bait. So scout the area before you run up to loot it. You may also use it as bait yourself. Since you're safely inside the circle, you have a couple options. You can either play it safe and head towards the center of the circle, find a nice spot on some high ground or on top of a building, and wait for the circle and other players to move in. Or you can make your way towards the edge of the circle to pick off any players that are running in from the poison. Just remember that once the new circle spawns, you'll likely find yourself outside of the circle, so this second option may be a bit risky. Scenario 2 is where you are outside of the circle when it spawns. This isn't as bad as it seems though. The first circle is huge and doesn't do a whole lot of damage. What I like to do in this scenario is to finish looting if I want. Maybe I still need a 4x scope or a few more sports drinks. Remember that even if you're still outside of the circle when it starts to fill in, that's okay. Drink a sports drink and you'll remain at full health. The first couple circles are not too bad. You can easily remedy any injuries sustained. When you're ready to make your way towards the white circle, open your map and set a marker. When setting this marker, keep a few things in mind. If you watched my first video, you should know about the plane's direction and where players may be looting. You can now use this information to figure out where they'll be running to after they're finished looting. Taking a look at our map, you'll see that the plane went from south to north, and it was on the right side of the lake, which means the majority of players will still be on the right side of the lake. The northern part may also be less dangerous, since most players ejected from the plane near the southern part of the map or the middle near Bitter Lake. Once the circle spawns, they may or may not have to move, but you can use this information to plot your course of travel and figure out where players will likely be. Remember that the white shapes on your map are buildings. If there are any buildings directly on the edge of the white circle, be very cautious. Players love to sit inside or on top of these buildings to spot any players trying to move into the new circle. You should avoid using any vehicles. The map is large, but not large enough to where you'll need to risk driving to the safe zone. They're very loud, easy to destroy, and you may be forced to take a fight in an unfavorable situation, such as in a large field versus a player on high ground. But every situation is different. If you've just got out of a firefight and the circle is completely closed in and you're taking double damage and there's a vehicle nearby, I say take it and plow that thing into the circle. Remember that you can eject from a vehicle at full speed and only take minor damage, so find a tree or a rock or hill cover to eject behind to heal up. Never heal out in the open or you'll be a stationary target. So as this video comes to an end, remember that the circle can be dangerous, but can also be used to your advantage by being inside and waiting for players to come to you. In my next video, I will go more in depth on how to traverse the map and how to use the environment to help you secure the win. Until next time, shoot straight and don't forget the rules of survival.